Come on down to Jimmy Sports Lounge. Come on down tonight. Come on. Come on down to Jimmy Sports Lounge. Everything gonna be alright. Come on down to Jimmy Sports Lounge. Come on down today. Come on down to Jimmy Sports Lounge. It's a great place to stay.
Welcome to the Cave Crew Radio pre-show. We are about to go live on cavecrewradio.com, YouTube and Facebook. Please share the show. And remember to like, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss a thing. And please leave us your comments too. Get ready. It's going to be another big show with all the latest hot topics, pop culture and weird news. Ladies and gentlemen, and I use that term loosely, here are your hosts, DK and the Big B.
Yes, and with a special guest tonight as well, ladies and gentlemen, in just a second, and a double dose of Mike Jolitz coming your way. This is it. This is the last show of the year. First time ever doing it. The People's Choice Cave Crew Radio Year-End Awards. 2 special announcements. I think it's going to be a great show ahead for you. Big B, are you ready?
I am. I can't wait. I haven't been this excited about New Year's Eve in quite a long time.
I forgot it was New Year. Yes, it is New Year's Eve. And joining us, the officially retired former co-host, Choo Choo Stew.
Good evening, gentlemen. It's we're only 10 minutes away from New Year's Eve here.
Yeah. Oh no, that's New Year's Eve. Yeah, true. You're right.
It's New Year's Eve now.
I'm getting confused, guys. I'm getting confused.
You got to remember, Choo Choo Stew is in the future, so it's almost New Year's Eve there. It will still be New Year's Eve where we are.
Right. So we are technically in some kind of a time warp.
That's right.
As we always were. But Choo Choo Stew, great to have you. Some great segments coming up. You are nominated, Guest of the Year.
Oh,
against 2 very difficult opponents. Robert Q from the Angry Old Man podcast, who revealed his face for the first time ever on our show.
Yeah, and here's an hard act to follow.
And Raymond the Amish comic. I mean, fuck you and a bucket of goo, folks. So
this is new. We haven't had this end of year awards before, have we?
No.
Not that I remember. We've been around a long time, but I don't remember ever doing this, Big B.
No, this is all new, and I'm looking forward to it. I was trying to think of a name, like, you know how they have the Oscars or, something like that. I don't know what we should call our awards.
Well, the people voted, the people spoke. I mean, in 6 minutes, we're going to get underway. And by the way, Stu, we are now going to broadcast live into England on Pulse Talk Radio.
Excellent.
So we'll be simulcasting. But yeah, I couldn't think of it either. I just thought year-end awards. That's all I could.
Maybe it should be called like an Alex.
An Alex?
No. I will protest that.
We could have had most annoying segment of the year, or most annoying topic of the year. But
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cardinales.
Write that down.
Oh, wait, hold on the pre-show. Hold while I write things down.
Welcome to the Cardinales. But ladies and gentlemen, tell your friends, get your popcorn, your champagne. Maybe you're taking it easy tonight. Just get a virgin mimosa, whatever you're having. And 5 minutes from now, let's take a few minutes because we got a busy night ahead. Choo Choo Stew, what are you doing for New Year's Eve?
We haven't made our minds up yet. It's probably going to be indoors. We was thinking about going out for a meal. We're probably too late to book. We might go for a lunchtime meal, or we might just go for a New Year's Day meal. So we're not too sure, but whatever it involves, it's going to involve eating, probably, rather than drinking.
And I've got the famous, which I think I have everyone on board for now in my group, the daytime New Year's Eve celebration. We are going to watch the ball drop in England at 6 p.m. The night will be over by 8, and I'll be home watching sports. There's a lot of sports on tomorrow.
There you go.
And you'll be in bed by midnight.
I don't know. I kind of like watching Anderson Cooper and that other dude get drunk on CNN too. That's funny.
I usually watch there's a music show on the TV, and Jules Holland. I usually watch that.
Yeah, it's usually good music. Big B, of course, your annual tradition.
Well, I will be watching Twilight Zone, but we're doing something different tomorrow because on Christmas Eve, we usually get together at a friend's house, the same friend every year, and get together with his family. But he had COVID this year, so he couldn't. I still went and hung out with his family, but he couldn't come. So he decided, because he likes to get together, the yearly get together, we're going to do New Year's Eve. He's COVID free now. So we're going to do New Year's Eve. We're going to have some pizza, have some beers, and we're still going to break it up at like 9:30-ish so we can get home, and I'll be watching Twilight Zone after that and asleep before midnight, I'm sure.
Okay, you're not going to get many episodes in, but...
Well, it's on all day New Year's Day, too.
Yeah, I want to be alert and well for New Year's Day. I don't want to stay up till 3 in the morning, and I'm beyond that now.
No, I got to get up. I'm smoking a turkey on New Year's Day, so we're gonna have a nice turkey dinner. So I got to get everything prepared.
I've got a ham with the bone in.
Oh, bone in ham, nice.
Yeah.
And make a nice pea and ham soup afterwards with the bone.
Bone is always where the flavor is.
That's a good idea. Mike Jolet's in chat and probably waiting to see if he wins something. No drunk shenanigans on CNN for New Year's.
I guarantee at least 3 people will be drunk on CNN.
Yeah, who's that guy? It's not. He always gets Anderson wasted. I don't watch the whole show, but I always switch back, and there's that one host that gets.
I have no idea who's on CNN. I don't watch it.
No, me either. But it's funny.
But I know, like, right around midnight and a little bit after, they'll be going on and on how much they love everybody because they're drunk. So that's a guarantee.
Yeah. He said no drunk. It's banned.
I've heard that edict from the networks for a while now, and there's always drunk people on there. So
we'll see. I'd watch Dick Clark or whatever they call it now, but I don't know any of the bands anymore. Like it's nobody I know.
Oh, see, I don't watch any of that stuff. Like I said, I always watch Twilight Zone, and Honeymooners Marathon is also on.
I like Honeymooners, yeah.
Right. So you kind of flip back and forth. And then if I'm awake at midnight or right around midnight, I'll flip to one of the channels just to see the ball drop, and then I'll flip back to my my marathons.
All right, folks, I'm going to take this camera down. It's about time to happen. It's the 2022 year-end awards. We're going to reintroduce ourselves for those of you that are with us because we're going live. But stick around. We're going to have a lot of fun. What I got to do right now is I got to cue a couple things. There we are on Pulse Stock. Happy New Year's, Pulse Stock. We're about to go live as soon as I hit my other button, and we're away here. We're away.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year!
This is Radio. Radio.
there was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Today's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gonna go to cook like a shot in a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Craven, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. It's a power goal.
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DK. I'm live from my cave in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We are so excited to be here with you tonight on all of our affiliates. We are live on Pulse Talk Radio. We are live on Cave Crew Radio, YouTube, and Facebook, and we are available wherever podcasts can be found. Tonight is a big night, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very special guest joining us on the show. Back from the dead, back from retirement, whatever you want to call it. We have a Mike Jolitz double feature, and we also have in my hand the nominees for our 4 categories, plus 2 special announcements. I'm not going to do the normal one because apparently there is no epicenter tonight, so I'm just going to simply switch things over because we got to keep things moving, I guess, tonight. Over to Queens, New York.
Yes, live from Queens, New York. I am King B, King of Stenchlandia, the Water Gypsies, President-elect of the United States of America, and usually the epicenter of something. But this week, it being a very special show, there is no epicenter. I, like you have the nominees. I have the winners.
Oh,
They're
the winning
all lined
envelopes,
up.
ladies and
I
gentlemen.
have the winning envelopes all lined up. But I'm very excited to do something I used to do every week, but I haven't been able to do it in quite some time. I am able to do it this week. I do believe London is calling. Check, check. Is London there?
Check, 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 check. This is London calling. Good evening, gentlemen.
And yet another new studio setting for you.
Seriously, where is this?
This is not the cabin. It can't be.
No, not at all.
I am in the sitting room.
Oh, the sitting room.
Sitting room.
The sitting room. This is where we sit.
All right. That's a good name for a place where you sit. You're getting a shout out from Mike Jolitz already in chat. I'm sure everyone is excited to see you here. What have you been up to, my good friend? We have not seen you or heard from you in a long time since you told me. I invited Choo Choo Stu. I got to tell this little story really quick. And he says, I regret I have to decline. I am retired from radio.
Ooh.
And I mean, even Choo Choo Stu is a nominee tonight, not just Mike Jolitz. Choo Choo Stu has a big nomination coming up. Guest of the Year.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
I must have voted. I must have voted for that myself.
Oh, well, hey, everyone gets to vote. And by the way, I'm very pleased at the turnout that we've had. I was surprised by how many people voted. I thought we might get like 5-10 votes, and you amaze me. They kept coming and coming. So how are you, dear friend? How was your
I'm
summer?
fine.
How was your Christmas? How was your winter? We haven't seen you since you defeated Big B, and well, that one's nominated too.
I've been hibernating and you know, still recovering from my injury. Yeah, so not been up to too much really. Just enjoying the home life.
You're looking healthy as well. The ink on your arms keeps growing. We should bring Stu on full cam here. He's like the illustrated man.
I don't remember. I think the last time I saw Stu, he didn't have both arms covered.
No, like
this is all new.
Did you buy a DIY at home kit?
Exactly, yeah.
Every time I'd see Stu and he'd like send pictures of his new ink, it would always be like 3 different tattoos. Like he'd go in and get 3 different tattoos at once.
Yeah,
I still wonder, Stu, because your wife is very conservative, like perhaps our wives are. She doesn't mind you keep inking.
Well, I'm sure she'd prefer if they weren't there, but you know.
I guess it's not like a shirt. You really can't take it back.
No.
Right?
No, you can't.
It's like,
no.
It's like having a child out of wedlock. Like, oh, sorry, mistake. But what do you want me to do now?
Yeah, I can put a shirt. I can put a long sleeve shirt on for, you know, if I need to cover them up.
All right. Listen, folks, we got a lot to get to, and Choo Choo Stu's with us, and we're gonna talk about the various things. We'll bring up, of course, other segments. I thought, what a great way to kick things off, though, is bringing in one of tonight's nominees. He's nominated for Segment of the Year, which is Mike Reads the News. But he's also got a new segment that he's brought to the show lately, and that is the Twitter shits. And there is a brand new edition tonight.
Now it's time for another edition of Twitter Shits with Mike Jolitz.
Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads it. Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads it. Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads the fucking shit. All right.
Hello, everybody. It is now time for the Twitter shits. All right, you guys, I found a good story, and here is the backstory. Supposedly, Davante Adams, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, currently with the Las Vegas Raiders, is a little upset that he left. So anyway, supposedly he said, I left Green Bay to be with my friend Derek Carr. Now that he's benched, why am I even in Vegas? At Marky D replied, cocaine and hookers. At Geek of the Week tweeted, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. At So Sherry said it's actually strippers and cocaine. I didn't know that had to be corrected. At Perry Gilpin tweeted, why run routes when he throws the ball to the other team? At Bill Buds tweeted, relax. Carr's a future Hall of Famer. Remember? Yeah, right. At What's Up Pete tweeted, good question.
And then?
Christopher Turd tweeted out, you have about 14 million reasons.
And then?
Shane King tweeted, join the Bears, get revenge on the Packers.
And then?
And finally in the Twitter shits, at Gay of the Day tweeted out, you could always wreck your Corvette doing 155. Heard that's popular in those parts.
No, and then.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that does it for the Twitter shits. Don't know if it's true or not, but the tweets look true. Hope you guys have a great show. Have a great weekend, everybody. And once again, Happy New Year to everybody. Later. Bye-bye.
Mike Jolitz Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads it. Mike Jolitz It's Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads it. Mike Jolet's Twitter shit. You write the tweets and he reads the fucking shit. All right. All right.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only Mike Jolet's a big part of the show.
Back to you, DK and Sir Big
Whoa,
B.
what's happening? How did that? Oh,
And then
He snuck a little thing right in at the end for us.
I love it. Maybe a future segment of the year, brand new, like 2 weeks ago.
It was an instant hit.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I remember he messaged me before it made it to the show. He's like, I got this new segment, check it out. It was on his Apple podcast on the Mike Jolet show. And I loved it immediately. And I told him it was great. We got to have it. And it's been a hit ever since.
Ever since, because we do TikTok, we do Florida and weird news and all that, and he does the news as well in a completely different way than us. But Twitter is its own beast, and he like microcosms. Remember that show, guys, back in the you might not remember, Stu, but back in the All Radio X days, there was Beyond the 140.
Beyond the 140, yeah.
Yeah, very big show at its time. And they would interview Twitter people. And Twitter is a beast of its own. What do you think, Stu, also as a listener of Twitter shits?
Oh, I love it. He always thinks of a new way to sort of freshen things up with Mike Gillett. So, I do love it.
And he always moves it at such a pace. I love it so much. I sent him a suggestion and kind of got my head soaked in the toilet. Perhaps I'll consider it, he says to me. I said, hey, Mike, this might be a good one. I threw him a topic. I'll think about it.
The good thing is short and snappy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's short, sharp, and snappy.
He is the master of the Twitter shits.
Yeah.
So he'll consider your idea, but he is the king of the Twitter shits.
I always thought of myself, not that I have anything to do with Twitter shits. I mean, I'm on Twitter. I read the stuff. I like it. I enjoy the way he condenses a conversation, so I don't have to, try and read all these tweets. But I always thought of myself as, kind of an authority, and hey, this might be, I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you on that. You stick to what you do, DK, and I'll stick to what I do.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm always interested, like for Mike reads the news, obviously there are news stories and things, you can see on TV or the internet. But for Twitter shits, you got to start scrolling through all of these, like he's talking about Devontae Adams, who's the wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders. If he put out a tweet, there's got to be thousands of retweets, not retweets, but responses.
Yeah.
So he's got to scroll through read all of these responses and pull out the best ones. That's got to be time consuming.
Yeah.
And mind numbing at some point, because most of the responses have got to be stupid.
I've told you before, going live like this, like a show like tonight, I've really had to prepare because there's segments and recorded stuff. I mean, but normally we kind of roll with what we got. We got our, our stingers and stuff like remember that 9-minute freaking audio thing we did? That was gruesome. I do not like pre-recording. I've said it a million times.
Are you talking about with the angry old man? That
angry old man, I can imagine the work, but how about like bowling alley karaoke?
When we were doing that,
or the what's that other one we did with Kentucky Fried Chicken? Colonel Sanders.
Sanders, yeah.
It's just time consuming. And how did that not get nominated for segment of the year? By the way,
was that this year? I don't know.
I can't remember anymore.
Oh, great. Before we get any further,
the beverage has arrived.
Oh, this is a big point, ladies and gentlemen. This is one segment you truly can't miss, and it is New Year's Eve. Oh, look at this cup!
Oh my God,
it's a moose head.
So this is this is called an eggnog mudslide.
Oh,
and it has the Evan Williams bourbon eggnog, Kahlua, whipped cream, and nutmeg. And this cup, I got this cup. Mrs. B got me this cup for Christmas. This is a replica of the glass used in Christmas Vacation.
Oh, okay.
And this is Marty Moose from the original Vacation movies when they went to Wally World. That's right. So this is they used these cups in Christmas Vacation in some of the scenes inside Chevy Chase's house.
I'm wondering what Mrs. B is going to do when they ban straws.
Well, you can use paper straws.
Yeah. I got the coolest gift for Christmas. By the way, Mike Joel says hello to Mrs. B while she's still.
Mike says hi. She's saying hello. Yes, looking forward to maraschino, she says.
So how does this taste? Is it sweet?
Well, it's if you ever had bourbon eggnog, it's bourbon eggnog with a sweeter feel to it because it's got the Kahlua and the whipped cream. So it's quite lovely and quite festive for the new year.
It's very strange, Stu, to hear a heavy metal guy say lovely. Don't you think?
It is quite lovely.
Yeah.
And I think that's Stu's influence on me for over the years.
It's divine.
It's divine. Yes, it's quite divine.
I need to ask again, is that in a blender? Do you have more coming?
Is there more or is that it? I can make more. Oh, this is it, but she can make more if
you want.
If I want, yeah.
I noticed you need a napkin with that. It must be quite messy.
Well, the antlers on the glass are sticky.
Okay.
So I
think he needs a spoon with it.
Well, I'm hoping the whipped cream should melt down into the drink so I can just stir it in.
Right.
Yeah.
So always a favorite segment on the show, the drink of the week. Mrs. B never disappoints. But ladies and gentlemen, if we don't get going, we are surely going to run out of time. I got to switch my sound card here, and it is time for
another year has passed. Tonight we honor the best of the best, as chosen by you, the listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Cave Crew Radio 2022 Awards.
All right, it is indeed, ladies and gentlemen. I need to ask before we get into the first one, did you vote, Stu?
I did vote, yes. Yeah.
You did vote. Okay. So
Absolutely.
your voice, this is like I said, an unbelievable amount of votes. But here's the first one. Let me play a little clip here.
The category is Best Show Name of the Year.
So how this is going to go, ladies and gentlemen, we kind of reviewed on the pre-show. I don't know if we did it once we got live on air. I will read the nominations. Big D does have a winning envelope for each of the nominations. None of us know quite yet what's going on. As voted by you, the listeners, I'm just going to bring this up solo again really quick. The first nomination is from June 10th, part of the Endless Summer Beach Party. Sorry, A Fish Called Cunt, which, by the way, we had to use a little thing to allow it to be published. 2 from November, November 4th, ladies and gentlemen. It's breast milk season. And from November 25th, A Piss Switcheroo. Now, before we go to the winner, I know you want the winner. Mike Jolitz. But before we go to that, we have to explain to you, Big D, Stu, you've been a part of this for years as well. One of the unique things I think we do on this show is when people throw out comments, be it during Mike reads the news or a story we're talking about, or it could be an epicenter, something Stu has said. Stu's so many times had the show name. We write things down, and then at the end we read what we might think might be a good show name, catchy. We want a catchphrase to pull people in to come and listen to Cave Crew Radio. And each and every week we do this, and we have a lot of fun with it. As you can see, they're very creative names. They perhaps come out of nowhere, but they really don't, as you'll hear when we play a clip of the winner. Anyway, Big B. Envelope opening. Big B.
A fish called cunt.
A fish called cunt. And I have to say, this was an overwhelming. You pigs. You're all a bunch of pigs out there is what you are. An overwhelming thing. Now, here's the funny thing of this. I got a little clip. It's his child brought puppets into the studio. But before that, we were having a conversation. Listen in, folks. Numerous times. Yes, folks. He said fuck and ass and shit. And he censored the word dick. Now, you probably know as well as I do that the worst thing you can say to your wife is the C word. Right?
Right.
I only did it once. You can say fat. You can say dumb. You can even say bitch. But you don't use that C word.
No, never. I don't think I've ever said that.
I did once, and I don't know what happened. I was probably on the couch. But anyway, there's Mike telling us why he censored the D word. We will not say it on air. It was great, Mike. We loved it.
It was fun to bleep.
Unless you're English, yes. If you're English, like if you're from England, the C word is they just call everybody that.
Well, I mean, see, you could say cunt here because we're not directing it to anybody.
Right. We don't have a female on the panel right now.
Correct. Right.
But
So
I think we have at least one female listening, if not 10. And that's why I refer to the C word. And I see where Mike's going with this, because saying the D word in today's liberal, cancel culture, everything. So that was the beginning of it, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Jolitz on his Read the News bleeped out dick. And that got us going on the D word and the C word. Well, after that, during the show, Brian's Big B's little boy came down with some puppets. And this is very short, but this is how it happened.
Figures.
Yeah, the fish. I was going to ask you if the fish's name was Cunt. That's why I kept asking you if you could hear me. So those of you that are new around here, that's how we come up with show names. It started with bleeping out a D word and went to a child with a puppet.
And luckily, because I'm through the headphones and he can't hear it. If I recall correctly, he had his puppets and he was still playing with it when you asked if the fish was called cunt.
Yeah, but
and
also,
he had no idea.
If you remember, I said he can't hear me, right?
Right. Yeah. Of course, you were making sure, and he couldn't hear. He was happier than a pig in shit playing with his puppets, and we came up with a fish called cunt.
Yeah. Just to give you kind of an idea how we do things. Do you remember listening to that one, Stu?
I would have listened on the podcast. Yeah.
Now
that means he didn't listen.
And
he says, "Yes, I would have listened."
I would have listened. I listened to them all. I listened to them all.
When he says, "I would have listened on the podcast," yes, that means he didn't listen.
I'm sure I did.
Now, originally, and I'm sure you still are, you were a podcast aficionado. Naming the show, is that pretty original?
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, there's not. Yeah, I don't think there's many podcasts where they name individual shows
And I
in the
can't
way
remember,
that you do it, anyway.
like when I don't remember when we started doing that.
I was just going to ask you, did we start doing that immediately, or did it just evolve like everything else we've done?
It must have evolved at some point, but to me, it seems like we've been doing it forever.
Right.
So,
and that's what makes up a good chunk of this book is show names and show notes.
Right. Which at some point, that book will be worth more than Aaron Judge's, record-breaking home run ball. I'm sure
1.5 million after the idiot turned down 3 million.
Yeah, that was a bad business decision.
Stupid.
All right, next up, and you are actually this is one you're nominated for, ladies and gentlemen. Let me cue up the audio real quick.
Our next category is Guest of the Year.
We don't do it often enough, perhaps, but one of the things we do is we bring guests on the show, Big B. And we've had a lot of classics. I just don't think all of them fall into this year. The Lane Splitter, your buddy out in L.A.,
Yep.
Grease the Piggy. I mean, Elton Carrero. We've had some good ones throughout the years. But of course, Stu was once a host, but this year he was not a co-host, so he is allowed to be nominated. But this one was close. I will tell you that the show name was a little bit of a landslide. And we got someone listens to the show. Afka, artist formerly known as, which we switched his name to once he left the show. The nominees are, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. X put on a big little, you couldn't call it a cartoon, but he did a little sketch for us.
Skit.
Yeah. And he was also we were the first show that he ever showed his face on, which was quite an honor. And we had a great time with him. Hey,
it was great.
Yeah. Raymond the Amish comic, he's been around a few years, but I can barely catch my breath or get a word in edgewise. Stand-up comedian, fantastic entertainer, Raymond the Amish comic. And of course, Choo Choo Stu. Show darling, former co-host of the show, and a favorite amongst many. But like I said, this one was close. I think we had 3 really good nominees for this one. Big B, if you could get the envelope, please.
I have the envelope.
And the winner is
Over to Big B. He has the envelope.
Choo Choo Stew.
Choo Choo Stew.
Oh, wow. Bloody hell.
That is some good competition that you're against, Choo Choo Stew. It was close, but you ended up winning in the end.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, as much as you're retired and you think you're not loved anymore and you think you got nothing else to give, the people want Choo Choo Stew. And a happy New Year's out there from a friend, because I guess it is midnight over there. We do have a clip. This one here was from a show that you were on earlier in the year. And the name of this show, it was from March 4th. You came back to see us. I couldn't get the tampons to work.
My doctor has told us to choose only one side to ejaculate in. So there you go, one side. They're side by side.
They're side by side. Okay, the Twin Towers.
So, but
the twins.
How does the person aim? Because they would go straight down the middle normally, so it must flip flop.
Well, usually the girl helps you.
Well,
if you're struggling.
But can you imagine, like if they're side by side, just create like a bullseye right in the middle and try to get it right there, right in the middle.
Yeah, I wonder what happens. Like, does it arouse the which one gets excited? It's like that thing that goes like this.
Wait.
It brings a whole new thing to double penetration.
Laura. And it takes a whole new meaning to one for the pig or one for the stinker. You need extra.
She says, sex in each vagina feels very, very different. I prefer one side, but it depends on the position and the shape of the guy as to which one I choose to have sex in.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We were speaking about a lady, I believe in Australia, who had two vaginas. That's right, two vaginas. One was for her partner, and the other one was for her OnlyFans. You guys remember that one?
Should have got her on the show.
The best was I couldn't, and I obviously can't clip the whole show. That's why I put the dates for you, ladies and gentlemen. March 4th, if you want to go back and listen. But Stu was wondering where the other vagina was. It could have been on the top of her head. It could have been on her back. And we spent 15 minutes trying to figure out where the second vagina was. Until Big B revealed it to us. Now, Stu, you've had a lot of interesting partners throughout the years. Have you ever come across anything as strange as that?
I can't say I have really.
No.
No.
Now, I have a question for you because we know your preference for those of the limbless.
So what you're saying is Stu has been attracted in the past, not his wife. His wife is lovely and beautiful.
Yes.
But in the past, you have been attracted to circus freaks.
Kind of, sort of ish. Yes.
Yeah.
So would this arouse you if you were single and with a woman and she revealed that she has two vaginas?
Well, I'm sure there's not a man out there that wouldn't want to go on that. Really?
I don't know, man. It's hard enough to please one woman at a time.
And would you consider that a threesome?
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
So how does it feel, Stu? I mean, you were nominated against two very, I know you respect both these guys. You introduced me.
I never expected that. I mean, Robert Q, is a legend. Raymond, I mean, he can't get a word in edgeways when he's on. But very funny guy. So yeah, it's very honoured.
You actually introduced us to, or introduced me, and then I brought it in with Big B to the Angry Old Man podcast.
I believe I did. Yeah.
I think Stu introduced me to Mike Jolitz, the Angry Old Man, to what's his name, Steve Day, the prank call guy. He pretty much Chip Chipperson. Yeah. You used to be.
What was the other two? What's the two guys? Bloody hell. Well, there was loads of them. There was the other. There were Big D.
Oh, the blind guy. We've had him on Big D.
The Bro-Rons or something like that.
The Bro-Rons, yeah, the Bro-Rons.
Bro-Rons, yeah.
You exposed us to all these wonderful things, and
yeah, I used to listen to so many podcasts. So yeah.
Do you still, since you are the winner and we're talking to you, do you still listen to a bunch of podcasts? Like, are you still a connoisseur?
I do, but to be honest, then my taste has changed, and because of the way my job changed and stuff like that, I don't really get the chance to listen to them. But the ones I do, they're usually more factual rather than the ones that than the comedy ones that I used to listen to.
But
I
you
used to
still listen
scour
to
them.
us. You still will text us and say, "Oh my God, laugh at this or laugh at that," or watch. So you still listen to us.
Yeah, of course. You're my longest standing subscription, I believe, on my podcast player.
Yeah, wow. How about that?
I still remember when you said that we got a letter or an email, not a letter. This is 1937. We got an email from a listener in England, and he was called Choo Choo Stew.
Yeah, those were the days. Next category. Next category is show of the year. Let me play the intro for you here, ladies and gentlemen. This is moving along a lot quicker than I thought it would. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, lots more to come. We also have two very special announcements. You don't want to leave yet. This is the end of the year show on New Year's Eve. Unless you're in England, it is New Year's Eve.
It's time for the Show of the Year award.
You know, it's hard for me to vote on these things, ladies and gentlemen, because we put our heart and soul into each and every show, and I would hope that you each have a favorite that you would go back to. But eventually, we have to come up with three. And surprisingly enough, this was another landslide in the voting. Believe it or what, was a segment. I guess maybe it will. I don't even know. Come up for segment of the year later. But a thing that Big B and I did just to kill some time. One night we started doing some trivia, and we called it Believe It or What. And then through time, a lot of times Stu and Big B would play against each other. And then we conspired this elaborate tournament with, I believe, 8 people to start. Eric the Swede, Amanda, Mike Devine, Chris Ripka, Isbia, Scotty, Jason Scott, Choo Choo Stew, of course. Have I forgot anybody? Yeah, Eric the Swede. Did I say him?
Yep.
Yeah. All participated. This took over a year to complete, ladies and gentlemen, because, of course, we had to get timing right for people to be in the studio, and people ghosted us, and we had some great events, and it all culminated with Big B, who was undefeated until this match, and then he faced Choo Choo Stew. And then an old friend from Double Talk Radio also came on the show once in a while, used to be in chat. I hope he's doing fine. I haven't seen him in years. I mean, it seems. Scotty and Chair. He ended up being there with us. He had a chair that he talked to that apparently talked back to him, and we got into Second Life. And there was a person named Casey, and it was like pulling teeth. Hey, Big B?
Oh my God! It was. I look at that as kind of the dark times of the show. This was rough. The trying to get information out of him and who Casey was and all. It was, man. It was one of the hardest things we've done.
It was painful. It was painful, ladies and gentlemen. But it turned out Casey and Scotty were virtually the same people. We could not get the gender of Casey because, of course, he picked a gender neutral name, right. and eventually we had him, and we got some answers finally. But I mean, it's all gone downhill from there. And then we came across Jimmy, who's our sponsor now. Jimmy sponsors the show. He sponsors our other show. I believe it was a Sunday, we did a show, and we got a chance to play Jimmy's Price is Right. It was a lot of fun. Big B and I won a lot of prizes that kind of like Jason Scott, we haven't received.
That's right. We never did receive anything.
No. He keeps telling me the new hats are in the mail, the new shirts, the hockey jerseys. We wear these hats every show for you, Jimmy. We do our part. Where is our swag? Let alone our swag. Where's the prizes we won on The Price is Right?
And we got them. I think we got them almost all correct. I think we may have gotten one wrong.
Well, you bankrupt him, haven't you?
And I love Jimmy. If you ever get to hang out with Jimmy, he's a wonderful guy. He's a great. You think we have stories? He has great stories, but you don't ship the prizes, Jimmy.
And I'm guessing Canadian prices and I'm winning.
Yeah, exactly. Jimmy swag. It's what we're expecting. We've never gotten it.
I would gladly wear my Jimmy Sports Lounge shirt any chance I got.
I'd have it on air just like my hat. Remember when I lost it? I was having a shit fit.
I'm still waiting for the story of how you found it, where it was, who found it.
I don't remember. Oh, it was buried underneath hats. And now we have a thing that we got for Christmas, Jake and I, that we hang our hats on a wall because we're both really hat fanatics. So similar to your son, Choo Choo. We both love our hats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, the Believe It or What final, the Scotty and Chair, the Casey interview, and the Jimmy Sports Lounge Price is Right. And someone's saying, don't hold your breath. I don't know who that is. A Facebook user. We should have had commentator of the year. We should have added maybe next time.
That's right.
Don't hold your breath, they say, waiting for your prizes that you legitimately won. If you put us to a challenge, then you got to pay if we live up. You ask us to walk across a volcano and we do it, you got to pay. Do you have the envelope, Big B?
I do.
And the winner is
the Believe It or What final.
The Believe It or What final, ladies and gentlemen. We had a great time doing it. It was tedious. Like I said, it took a lot. Stu, you were involved in that.
I was, yeah.
Let me play the clip, and then we'll get back to how you and Big B both felt during the Believe It or What. Here's a clip from the Believe It or What final. We just went to the theater the other day to see the Elvis movie.
Wait, is it going to be a question on that?
No. Who plays the role of Laura Croft in the 2018 American adventure film Tomb Raider?
Oh, if I hear her name, I think I might know it.
You might go to and nobody. It's just advantage, Stu. We're not going to go 6'5" or anything like that. We just go advantage or deuce. I'm going to call it like tennis.
Oh, we're doing tennis now.
Yeah. Was it Angelina Jolie, Brie Larson, Alicia Vikander, or Margot Robbie?
I think it was Alicia.
Alicia Vikander to keep himself in the game and go to advantage, Stu, or deuce.
That answer is correct.
This is
A pretty little thing.
This is crazy. And then this one goes to hockey. Like, this is just getting silly. Big B.
Mm-hmm.
What country won the gold medal for the women's hockey in the 2018 Winter Olympics?
I have no idea.
What country won the gold medal for the women's hockey in the 2018 Winter Olympics? Was it A, Canada? Was it B, Finland? Was it C, Germany? Or was it D, USA? For a tie or a loss?
I don't know.
Well, you got to guess.
I know I have to guess. I don't know. Canada.
Big B, Canada for a tie or to lose in overtime to Choo Choo Stew? Was it Canada, ladies and gentlemen?
That answer is wrong. Incorrect. Goose egg.
Big B. It was the United States of America, and Canada finished with a silver medal.
Oh, there you go. All right.
It's always the two of them, but
yeah, I knew that. It's one of the two.
All right, so you two lived this show of the year. It was a biggie. Big B, previously undefeated, was currently suffering from the yellow phlegm flu, apparently. But
no
back and forth match. This went to overtime. What a better way of doing it. Big B, how did you feel about that experience?
Now, remember, I wasn't suffering from the yellow phlegm flu. If you recall, I had my toothache before
that's
my
right.
3 rounds of root canal had to occur.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, I never used it as an excuse. I said, you beat me fair and square. But I had brought it up, I think the week after. If you watch the show back, there's one point where I'm having my drink of the night, and it's cold and it hits the back of my tooth. And while we're in a segment or something, I grabbed the side of my mouth because it hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I remember. I was in like a lot of pain that night, but again, I don't use that as an excuse. Stu beat me fair and square.
It was a great match.
It was a great match. And coming down to that question, I knew it was either US or Canada. And you said Canada first, then there was 2 European countries. And I'm hoping the last one wasn't the United States because I wasn't sure which one it was. And I knew if the last one wasn't the US, it was going to be Canada.
Right. In men's hockey, you could probably go Canada every time, but the US, they're good. And the women's
no, the women's hockey team is, and it's always US Canada 1 or 2. And the US has been good for a number of years and won plenty of gold medals, but I had it in mind that Canada had won that for whatever reason, and I was wrong. And Stu put on a great match.
Now, Stu, obviously really cool to win because you'd faced Big B in like music and all kinds of different categories before we ever even designed the tournament. But what was it like going through the tournament? I mean, I'm sure it was fun, but you had to get there. Like you had 4 matches before you got there. What was your favorite other than the championship?
I don't think I struggled particularly for them. I think it's luck of the draw, really, to be fair to everyone. It's luck of the draw on the questions. Yeah. You know them or you don't. Or
you what I like about you is you're.
I mean, Big B used to get all the. It's always the other person gets the easy questions, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
But like you think, why couldn't I have had that question? You know.
Who I don't know if you remember, but who was your favorite opponent through your grid? I can't even remember who you played. You played Scotty because Ripka had strep throat. So you beat Scotty, the horizontal wonder. Then I think you beat Amanda.
Yeah, Amanda was good.
And then Jason would have
been. I felt
your
quite
last
bad
one.
beating her, to be honest.
Then you had Jason, and I can't remember.
So let me just recap the Stu's final against Jason, and then the final against me. Jason jumped out after 4 rounds. Jason was up 3-1. Jason was way ahead, and then Jason missed in round 5. Stu got the question right and went on to answer 4 in a row.
Yeah,
with Jason only answering 1. So being down 3-1, he came roaring back to win 5-4. Now against me in the final, in the first 2 rounds, we swapped. I answered the first round 1 correct. He did not. He answered the second round 1 correct. I did not. The next 3 rounds, we went back and forth getting each answer correct. In round 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In round 6, we both got it wrong. In round 7, we're well into overtime.
Yeah,
we both got it right.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but I ran out of questions on paper. I had to go online.
It it was the tightest match of the entire tournament was me and Stu. And round 7, we both got it right. Round 8 is the round you won, where you got what we just listened to. You got it correct. I got it wrong for you to win 6-5. It was back and forth.
Yeah, it was a great fun. The whole tournament was fun.
And I'm glad it was that tight for the finale. I'm glad it wasn't a blowout either way. Like if I would have blown him out or he would have blown me out, it wouldn't have been as fun.
No,
as tight as it was a really good match. It was a fun show.
Because I'm not kidding you, ladies and gentlemen. This was like a year and a half to get through this damn thing. It was a great idea when we came up with it, but how you doing over there, Stu? You hanging in there?
I'm hanging in there.
All right, you're being a real trooper. Listen, I did promise tonight we got 2 major announcements. So before we go to the next award, I'd like to announce this. Every year, ladies and gentlemen, you fucking drive us nuts. Since 2015, we've been doing this back in the All Radio X days. Big B, you and I have talked about this over and over again. Now my show fell apart, and you said, "Hey, let's jump on." It was supposed to be a sports show, yada yada yada. Stu came along. The rest is history. Yeah, but we talk about these awards, but it's very draining to continue to come up with all this stuff all the time. But we do have a very big announcement that you may or may not be happy about. But ladies and gentlemen, coming up, starting, I guess, next week, because CCR D2 has ended, we have signed on for one more time.
Back again for number 10. Join Big B, DK, and Mike Jolitz for all the hot topics, weird news, and shenanigans. It's Cave Crew Radio, Season 10 at cavecrewradio.com.
Yeah, we've Mike Jolitz in now. Major rebranding going on the website, all social media. And Stu, don't shy away. You're always very welcome as a guest anytime in the day of May. We're hoping to sign you for at least 10 appearances next year.
I'm sure I'll be gate crushing at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll come back and see us. But ladies and gentlemen,
we have to have negotiations for Choo Choo Mania 3, the rematch between me and him. We were just talking about.
I had that in preparation, and then. He left the show, and then he kind of come back, and he was doing these intermittent things, and you don't understand what a slap in the face it was. There's a slap in the face, and then there's a slap in the face with a wet hand. I've retired. I'm done. I'm done with you.
You need to speak to my agent.
I know, but when you retired, we kind of said, okay, we understand. You got things going on. We got things going on. We respect it. The broadcast is extremely late at night for you. But when you told me you were never going to return, and then to return tonight is very gracious. I appreciate it. That was a slap in the face. I'm done. I won, believe it or what. Fuck you. I've accomplished all I've set out to be since this journey began. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, look for the rebranding. Look for us to go. Lots of new stuff.
And if I may, real quick, the Facebook user who said, "Don't hold your breath" about Jimmy sending out the winnings was Daryl Mills.
Oh, good old Daryl, another guy that had been on the show. So he's a regular at Jimmy's Sports Lounge.
There you go.
Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have any real new segments or anything drawn up yet, but it's time to rebrand. It's a new year, and away we go. Next week, it'll probably be the same shit, just with different colors.
And you never know. You never know. There might, one of these days when you're doing a show, there might be knock on the door. You never know who it might be.
Yeah,
could be me.
I'm a Facebook user. My favorite.
No, but
if I had a highlight of
be-
2022, and you
I
know,
might
in
be
hindsight,
jetting off. What I'm saying is, I might be jetting off overseas. you know?
Oh,
coming over to see us again.
oh.
Will it be? Whose basement will I be choosing? I'm quite missing the Queen's. Actually, I need a hearty breakfast in my
It's
local
pretty
cafe.
bad that we've never. We keep them in our basements.
Right.
But
You know that diner's closed, by the way. That diner you went to
Oh,
every
it
day.
hasn't.
I don't know if it's going to
Oh.
reopen. The rumor is it's going to reopen eventually, but it's been closed for like a year.
Because of COVID.
Oh.
I think it was closed
Yeah.
originally but it hasn't reopened. But it hasn't been torn down either. Like it hasn't been sold or anything. Supposedly it's going to reopen.
Yeah.
But this was the diner when Stu was here in New York. He would go to this one particular diner every day. For the entire week, to the point where they knew what he ordered. Like the last day,
Yeah.
they knew what he was going to order.
Yeah. She said, "Oh, no orange juice today," or something like that. You know. I said, "Oh yeah,
Listen,
I forgot." Sorry.
I've said this once. I'm going to say it 100 times. I still think we should have like it doesn't have to be a conference, but like a central getaway.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the three of us will be. We can bring the families if they're willing to tolerate us. Kentucky, California, Florida, Las Vegas, Toronto, who knows where. But we meet in a central place, make a little mini vacation of it. I think it'll be a blast. And
Absolutely.
Listeners can know about it, and we'll put up barriers around our campfire and stuff, and there'll be certain meet and greets and shit, but you can't follow us into our showers and stuff like that, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, speak for yourself.
Stu might like it.
Whatever you're into. But it would be good to see everyone. And I will say, England is something that's been on it's just a more expensive trip. I don't know how you did it, Stu, but the wife definitely wants to get over there. But she mentioned New York again. When I was telling her that they weren't paying my sick days into my pension anymore, and I was taking another week off. But anyway, that's another story. Another big announcement yet to come, ladies and gentlemen, so don't go anywhere. But we do have another award to give away. And again, we try to get creative, right? Big B, we do the weird news, we do the epicenter, we talk about our lives, I've been doing the tip of the week. We try to add things, but probably the three biggest over the past year. I don't know. Can anyone else think of any others?
No, that's it for me.
That's probably the three main ones.
Yeah.
So believe it or what, we just went through it with the show of the year. Big tournament, 8 contestants even over the last year that culminated. But believe it or what, again, was a segment that we had because we needed to fill some time. And Big B and I came up with this, just kind of played along with it again, probably a year before we ever got into this tournament.
Right.
The highest court of urine stench. Again, I can't get into all the history, but Big B, knighted by the Queen, God rest her soul, and we would go to court to resolve some various things in the highest court of urine stench. None of which any of these segments we are saying are dead. And then, of course, you heard Mike do the Twitter shits earlier in the show, but Mike reads the news. Does anybody remember how this even came about? I don't know if he emailed me one time and said, "Hey, I got news. Do you want to play it?" Or I don't even remember how this ever happened.
I don't know how it happened, but I remember he had brought up maybe at the end of last year, going into 2022, that he was giving up his show, that he was done with his show.
Right. Yes.
And we said, whoa, wait a minute. We need
Yeah.
Mike reads. We need your show on our show. Because anybody that knows the Mike Jolitz show, it's much like Mike Reads the News. It's a very short, quick show that he puts together, and he reads the news clips and does. He has music on it. We use the news segment of it, and we're like, please, we need news every week. And he promised us that he would not retire from our show. But he was talking about doing retiring from his show, which he's back to doing his show.
Right, well, which I think it invigorated him. There's three. Look,
and also,
go ahead, Stu.
Also, you have to remember what Mike should bring back as well was his commercials. Do you remember his commercials he done?
Yes.
They were like what do you call them? Like mock commercials, or
I actually did one with him while I was out in Arizona.
Yeah.
That's yet to hit the airwaves, but I did one with him.
They were fantastic. I done one for him. Maybe I can't even remember what it was for now, but I got a couple of other people reading a few bits as well for him.
Yeah,
but they were really good.
Of course, like every other thing, have not been included in this. For some reason, I'm always left out of all this stuff.
Well, I did mine while I was at his house when I was in Arizona.
I gotcha. But yeah, and I just want to say sometimes you get beat up because you look at the downloads, you look at the live listens, you look at the responses you're getting on your Facebook group, whatever it might be. And you get frustrated that nobody wants you. And we were like, hey, we've got a home for you. And now I think he's more on fire than he ever was.
That's great.
Yeah, it's tough. So I didn't officially do this, so I guess I'll do it now.
Now it's time for segments of the year.
So as previously announced, segment of the year, all of which we are very proud of. Believe it or what, the game show, the Corner of Urine Stench, kind of a skit that we do with Big B, even brought a wig on certain occasions. And Mike Jolitz reads the news. This one was again a landslide. Big B, you have the envelope
right here.
And the winner is
Mike Reads the News.
Mike Reads the News, ladies and gentlemen. So Mike Jolitz, if you never feel popular or never feel people want you, there is your answer. And ladies and
he
gentlemen,
can add that he is now award-winning Mike Jolitz.
The award-winning Mike Jolitz. Yes, we'll have to incorporate that into our segments. And ladies and gentlemen, as we have had clips of each and every award that we've given out tonight, we have a brand new Mike Reads the News.
Hello, Cave Crew Radio. How are you guys? Hello, DK, and hello, Sir Big B. And I hope you guys are doing well. I hope Christmas was good, and I hope you have a good New Year's as well. Alrighty, guys, it is now time for Mike Reads the News. Mariah Carey has been sent back to stasis. They'll let her out after next Thanksgiving. We can only handle so much of her ass. The temperature in Florida last Saturday was balls. Cold as balls. Packers beat the Dolphins on Christmas Day. The Sharpnels almost but didn't beat the Buccaneers. Philadelphia lost to the Cowgirls. The Raiders lost to Schittsburg. And Denver got their asses handed to them. Oh, and the coach got fired then too. Larry Flint's Hustler Club in Vegas came to the rescue of stranded airline passengers over the Christmas holiday.
That's nice of them.
They offered them free admission, a drink, and a ride to the strip Club. They did not get free lap dances, though. But still not bad. Merry Christmas. The Badgers beat Oklahoma State in whatever the bowl game was called. Played right here in Phoenix on Tuesday. The score was 24-17. Yeah, go Badgers. Yeah. And finally, in the news, Bill Cosby wants to go out and do a comedy tour in 2023.
Is that a joke?
I wish I'd come up with that one. That's a good one.
From the makers of Gain, Always and Downy comes a new kind of kids' toothpaste. Procter & Gamble is proud to announce an alternative to Crest called Tide Pod toothpaste. That's right. The same yummy-looking, delicious taste that you love in our detergent is now available in toothpaste form. And if you're looking to do a little whitening, try Tide Pod toothpaste with bleach too. Warning, Tide Pod toothpaste is not intended for anal bleaching or for your pets.
Alrighty, guys, so that's it for the news. It is now time for the tidbits. They're not headlines, they're just little tiny pieces of shit. Meow. Of the 50th drunkest counties in the nation, only 9 are not in Wisconsin. Bam! Drink Wisconsinably.
Meow.
I have not seen Avatar 2.
Oh, yeah.
Former Wisconsin Badgers and current Sharp-Nosed player J.J. Watt announced he's retiring.
Oh, yeah.
Rapper Big Scar died. I don't know who that was. No idea.
Oh, no.
And finally, in the tidbits, RRA has a new record called Digital House of Spirits coming out January 11th on Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff. So anyway, guys, check it out.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Guys, that does it for this Mike Reads the News. Hope you guys have a great show. I will be listening. You guys have a good one. Later. Bye-bye.
A commercial.
You were just talking about
that. Think about it.
Yeah.
I do not pre-screen the Mike Jolitz Reads the News. I simply click on it, make sure I got the audio, because the one time we had a problem and I felt terrible about it. So I always make, I got audio, sounds good, listen to the intro, down it goes. I like to be surprised on the show like everybody else. You guys brought the commercials up. Never knew.
There you go.
There you go.
See, Stu asks, and he shall receive.
There you go. The one and only.
I think I must have had like a prediction about that, you know.
And I will say, I probably, I did. I deleted
premonition, rather.
But I don't know if you guys noticed. But he ain't going anywhere as long as we have anything to say about it. He now has his own cartoon.
That's right. I saw in the new poster for the upcoming season 10. Mike Jolitz has his own cartoon character next to me and DK.
Yeah. So, Stu, of course, you've been honored with a cartoon. Not many have. But congratulations, Mike. Look, we put a lot of work into, believe it or what, the highest court of urine stench alley. But we wouldn't have offered you to come aboard if you weren't such an important part of the show, and the people obviously love you. So that is that. Before we maybe kibitz for a little bit at the end of the show, I promised you 2 major announcements. And this is also an award that was not announced. Big B is going to have a shot of peanut butter schnapps. I'm going to stick to what I'm doing here. I still have to survive tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, well, the awards are for the first time ever, but we've spoken a lot about a person, and we have decided between us that we are going to do this. Please listen closely, and then we have an excellent montage of audio clips to follow.
Now it's time for the first ever Cave Crew Radio Lifetime Achievement Award. A former fan, listener, and beloved co-host. First appearing in 2016 and continuing until 2022. He has entertained us with many stories, laughs, and major events. Cave Crew Radio is pleased to announce their first ever recipient, a voice that will stay with us forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Choo Choo Stu.
And we have to refer to him as, well, I gave him a name. I call him Choo Choo Stu.
Choo Choo Stu.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. You'll understand the nickname. He drives underground trains in London.
Okay.
So I'm taking to us that's a subway.
So it would be a subway, yeah.
Because we could at first I thought he was running like IRA people, out of Dublin or something, but he wears his long woolen hat, as he refers to it, with his earphones on, and he listens to podcasts.
Okay.
And one of the ones he likes is Cave Crew Radio.
Very nice.
And he comments on our Facebook page. And anyway, he had to ask me a question or something, and him and I started chatting. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give you a shout out. And he says, well, please don't use my real name, because I'll get canned if they find out I'm listening to podcasts while driving the train. But apparently it's a very boring job, and we make his day better. And I was so flattered by that.
That's fucking great. What did you call him?
A Choo Choo Stu.
Choo Choo Stu. That's right. Choo Choo Stu.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening, Choo Choo Stu. Welcome to the show.
Spread the word.
Spread the word. I know it's 10 a.m., 10 p.m. here.
Stu, if you run into a Bobby, I want you to hand him the phone.
No.
Just hand him the phone, please.
I'm handing myself over to a Bobby right now. Yeah?
Yes, put him on the phone. Please put him on the phone.
What's your name, mate?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello, I'm Constable Carson.
Oh, shit.
Man. Constable Carson on the phone.
Well, hello, Constable Carson.
Hello, who am I conversing with?
This is Big B and DK from Cave Crew Radio, coming to you from the U.S. and Canada.
Oh, good evening, U.S. and Canada. This is Constable Carson. I'm reporting from Buckingham.
You're reporting.
Palace. Excuse me, sir.
Now, do you have somebody that we call Choo Choo Stu in front of you?
Yes, this man has been apprehended. There's no worry to the public at this moment in time.
Okay, what are the charges against him?
Well, we found this gentleman walking through forest land. He, pretty much what we call here in the UK as arse bollock naked.
Oh, he's naked. Hey, listen.
Arse bollock naked.
Ass bollock naked.
Do you think he is the person that stole London Bridge?
No.
Okay.
No. Cannot.
Listen, okay, you're very difficult. You're hard, lady. Okay. I want $700.
No.
Yeah?
No. Cannot.
And I want PP. I want PP boy. PP boy. $700.
Here is only massage. Not
I want
not
PP. You do PP dollar? I want PP Happy Days.
No, cannot. Here cannot.
$800. Not okay. No, let's not be stupid. $1,000.
I'm sorry.
$1,000.
Here is cannot. The other service just massage. Okay.
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 $1,000.
I'm sorry. I don't. My English is not good.
Okay.
Okay.
$2,000.
No. I'm sorry. My English is not good. I don't understand.
Okay. $500.
I don't want you sing. I'm sorry.
I finished work last night and I have to walk through this little alleyway. It's like it stinks of piss. Everyone pisses down there. Well, I walked through this alleyway and there's these two guys smoking spliffs in it, and it stinks like shit. And like, what fun is there of smoking a spliff in a piss-filled alleyway? There's none at all, is there?
Right, in the middle of the night.
In the middle, like 2 o'clock in the morning. What's the point?
Right. Usually when you're smoking, it's, in the afternoon sometime, you're just relaxing,
Yeah, I mean, I don't do it at all, but if I would, I wouldn't do it in an alleyway stinking of piss. You know what I mean?
That might be the name of the show right there, the piss stinking alley. Smoking weed in the piss stinking alley. All right, number 15 is good.
Number 15.
Happy days. Happy days.
Great memories.
Carson. I'd forgotten about him. I'd forgotten about Constable Carson.
Constable Carson was awesome. And that was the night that you lost your was it your underwear?
Yeah.
But kept your pants for some reason. How that occurred, I have no idea.
I remember I'd been out with another podcaster, and I think we had hit the Jim Beam or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, but I'm very honoured. I haven't got a speech ready. There's no speech ready, but I'm very honoured to receive such an award.
When we say we're disappointed when you leave, not because we're mad, you've been such a big part of the show. I mean, we were year end, and you pretty much only left last year. So I mean, 90% of the show you've been a part of it. I have clips. Well, we did the Book of Stew was another segment we could have nominated, but the time you were recording, you used to record in your car under a bridge.
That's right. Yeah.
And
I can't forget Choo Choo Sue.
Choo Choo Sue, who was in the pictures there. Right. And then of course you massacred Choo Choo Stew at the allotment as a scarecrow. The one-eyed Aborigines, and you peeing in the fish tank or whatever. And the roasted potatoes, and you got locked inside the bar, and I don't know. There's just when your ass sweated because you were a chef and you had you put a tampon on your ass. I mean, we tried.
Chef's awesome. Yeah.
You don't even try. And then there was like some other one. You were in an airport in Taiwan or something.
Was it the steam houses in Finland?
Yes.
Naked with the chief of police.
Yes. Another classic.
My favorites were before he was a regular on the show, and you just alluded to it, when he would call. After he would record, then he would start calling in. He'd be in his car under a bridge. Hi, this is Choo Choo Stew.
Yeah.
I don't know why he whispered. because it was 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning there. But yeah, this is how you guys doing. This is Juju's. He couldn't do it in his house because everybody in his house was sleeping.
You were convinced he was a serial killer at one point.
He's hiding under a train bridge in the dark at 4 o'clock in the morning, whispering to a radio show in North America. And I was convinced he's waiting for his next victim.
One of the stories was the Down syndrome in the bath. I don't know. Do you remember that one?
Oh, with the haunted toilet. I also remember the haunted toilet.
No, I was working in this kitchen, and the bathroom had like a double door, and I opened the door to go for a piss, and there was a Down syndrome having a bath.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
What was the one with the Christmas socks? That was another good one.
The light up Christmas socks.
Yeah. I think it was, oh, if your wife only knew. And your uncle with that trailer.
The what, sorry?
The trailer that your uncle owned, I believe it was.
Oh, yeah. And I owned one as well. Yeah.
And then I think it was, he actually met his wife when he was a chef, and he was staring out the window. Remember, he was with that other dame.
Right, he was with some other girl, and was staring out the window at across the way at his wife through like a peeping Tom through the window.
He's telling us to shush, but he's got headphones on. I don't.
Right, yeah, nobody's going to hear it, but you. I'm looking through the book of Stu. Where I wrote these things down. It was Chef's Asshole is what it was called when he was sweating.
Yeah.
And there's the Lisa was the one-legged Aborigine.
When they stole the food and he was selling it on the side.
Right. Yes, as a side business.
Yeah.
Lisa was
through all of this. I'm surprised I remember anything.
Lisa was the one-legged Aborigine that he liked. Joan, if we remember Joan was the ant with no legs.
Oh, yeah.
Alex was
Joan passed, by the way, or
I don't know. I haven't heard from her for a couple of years.
So you never go. She got no legs. She can't cook her own toast.
Well, let me just go through this. There was Alex, who was the girl he was with, where he puked in the fish tank. He didn't pee; he puked in the fish tank.
Oh, puked. Okay, I knew it was something like that.
Alec was married to Joan. Ron, there was 2 Rons. One was a pot washer, and one was his uncle with one leg.
Yeah, what was it like? Did your family have a problem with gangrene?
Yeah. No one my family don't believe me about that story, but it's true. Yeah, he had gangrene in his leg.
Maybe when Oscar is older, you can just let him listen to the stories of old. You probably won't believe him, but
there are so many things, like, as he's telling these stories throughout the weeks, and I'm writing these things down furiously. Like, as time passes, I forget what it is. I have something here that says Guitar Club, Neil, pedophile cop. I don't know what that means.
Oh, and God bless his heart, because he's actually passed away. And it was a guy I used to play guitar with, and he was a paedophile policeman. He was a policeman. He wasn't a paedophile. He used to investigate them all.
Oh, you investigated the pedophiles. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember where Stu's mom worked?
Oh, the condom factory.
London Rubber Company. Yeah, London Rubber.
London Rubber. Hold on.
And I got to explain this to you, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Big B and I do the news, and we kind of trail off into our own little things as we go along. But Stu would break out into a story in the middle of a news story, and it would take the rest of the show.
No matter what it was, any news story that we did, Stu had a real life story that went along with it.
Yeah.
Which is why I called him the most interesting man in the world.
And what was it like? I think this was newer, but remember you were telling us how you got locked in the bar.
The toilet.
No, you were locked
I
in.
got
Well,
locked
you
in
did the haunted toilet. That was good too. But you got locked in the bar. It had something to do with roasted potatoes. You were in some village or.
Yeah, we was on the Isle of Wight. Yeah, and we went into this pub and like everyone just stopped, like and looked, because we wasn't locals. But then they soon invited us in. They had a lock in, and they brought roast potatoes out and put them on the bar, and everyone just helps themselves while you're having a drink.
The only reason I know these are true, Big B, is because he remembers every story.
Right. Yeah, and it doesn't deviate. Like we've heard a number of these stories multiple times because we refer back to them, and they never deviate. So it has to be true.
Yeah. Those were the lock-in, because the pub's now open all day long. But back in that time, I think they closed at they opened from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. and then they closed until about 6 or 7. But that day, they locked us in the in-between hours. Yeah, roast potatoes at the bar, lovely.
Did you ever? So I'm sure I've asked you this before, but have you ever? What was the Aborigines' name? Alex? Lisa. You ever reconnect with her? If she's still alive, I don't.
I don't know where she is. She might have gone back.
The one-legged.
Wherever.
Was that in your rock and roll days, or when was that about?
Oh no, that was years ago. I think it was teenagers years.
And then there was one. See, all my memories are coming back to me like it's a dream. That you were quite young, and you did something, and you were hiding behind the bush from the bobbies.
Oh yeah.
That was another story we had.
I was being a little bit naughty, and we raided a liquor store.
You raided the Chinese guy.
We raided the liquor store and we all ran away.
Which was run by the Chinese guy who had a very.
I don't know if he was Chinese.
Who was the Chinese guy then that ran the store? Who had a very normal name?
I'm looking for it.
You mean Chinese Alan? Chinese Alan, was it? Chinese Dave?
I can't remember.
Yeah. I think it's Chinese Alan.
And then, of course, the allotment. We've had. Do you ever connect with Wendy and Dave?
No, I haven't seen them for a long time. No. I see One Tooth Jim quite a lot.
Oh, you still see him outside of the allotment?
Yeah. I saw him a few weeks ago at a gig.
Oh, so he's like getting out a little bit. What about the guy who sword fights?
Oh, I haven't seen him. No,
Jimmy or whatever his name was.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen him for a while.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, if I had the time, I'd go back to listen again. But there were so many stories.
Oh, so
man.
So let me. You mentioned the Christmas socks.
Yes. Remember that? Yeah. There was like an orgy, or I can't remember what it was.
So I guess "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" was the song played on the Christmas socks. So this was what I have written in the book of Stu, in the section of Stu, was 1992-1993. There was this girl named Jill. Stu met her at a Christmas party. He went back to her house. A female friend of Jill's gets called into the room.
All right.
After the sock button gets pressed, I guess it's playing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." She showed one of her breasts and then left the room.
Yes.
And that was as close as Stu got to a threesome.
Because what happened here, ladies and gentlemen, you can see tonight, he's sticking to the story, he's not lying. But Bigby and I were intent on trying to get a timeline.
Yes.
To all of this at one point. Remember, Stu, we're like, was this before this or was this after this? And you did pretty good, Big B. I think you got like a timeline of everything.
Yeah, 1992. I was 78. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, about 23. Must have been about 23 at the time.
Yeah, so you had Jill, and then apparently in 1992 you had a Hindu girl we called Wiggly.
Yeah.
And you left her to go with a Chinese girl named Heidi.
Yeah.
There was Caroline 1 and Caroline 2.
Oh, tell us about that again.
Caroline 1 was actually in between Wiggly and Heidi, apparently.
See, we know more about you than you know about yourself.
And Caroline 2 was the nightmare
Well, I don't
taxi
wanna
ride
talk
home
about it.
with the fatal attraction girl. She was Caroline 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't want to talk about that.
I remember now. We could actually brag.
Funnily enough, I say I don't want to talk about the fatal attraction, but I met a guy that I used to play with in the guitar with last night. I haven't seen him for years. He was in the cab. I think he was in the cab originally with us, and he got off at his house, and that was when the fatal attraction bit started. But anyway.
And then there was a time that he called out. Remember the time he called out Mike Tyson in Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I just left work. I think he was behind the Grosvenor House Hotel in London in Mayfair or something like that. Yeah. And I thought, who are you looking at? Like, you know, the guy out of a taxi. Yeah.
There you go, ladies.
Gave me the eye, you know.
There's no way we can encompass it into one show.
I could go through my notes chronologically, but things are kind of back and forth. But I have so many notes in here from the Stu files that span from the early 90s to the late to the 2000s and beyond. It's quite the timeline I have here.
And now he's a married man with a family like the rest of us. And I've had a lot of adventures too. I've said this before, but I just can't put it into stories like that.
I like this here. I have a note that says Stu couldn't get into a sleeping bag because it was actually a rug.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that was with one of the Carols, I believe.
No, that was in my wife's apartment when I first met her.
Yeah, that's when he first met his wife.
And
I took all her stove. I took all her cooker apart.
Right, you took a stove apart and cleaned it, both while you were sleepwalking.
Yeah. And I can remember still, and I was getting so frustrated not being able to get into this bloody sleeping bag, you know. It was so, and in the end, I've just thought, I'll just put it on top of me. And when I woke up, it was a rug.
All right, folks. We're going to have to bring him back again. The Lifetime Achievement Award, Choo Choo Stu, the one and only. But we are running out of time. Stu, and we know it's getting late for you. But it's been great having you here again tonight. It always is. And all I do when I hear those stories.
Thank you very much.
And all I do when I hear those stories, I laugh. And that's what we do this show for. And we didn't even mention Kenya, who I couldn't think of last week, but it's come on me now. The spirit.
The spirit guide.
Stu, we're not putting you on any timeline, but hopefully you'll join us during season 10 more than once.
Absolutely.
As time permits. I know you're going to be back at work. It's going to get hectic, but hopefully you can fit us in on a holiday or something.
Definitely.
Multiple award winner, ladies and gentlemen. He was part of Show of the Year. He was Guest of the Year. And he is the honorary recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award. All right, boys. Unfortunately, all good things come to an end, and that's why we want you to come back. Say goodbye, Choo Choo Stu. Well, don't say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Say, see you next time.
I'll see you next time.
There we go. Good night, Big B.
Thanks for having us. Good night, Big B.
disease has spread like cancer. Another mess I inherited.